evening, Leroy. Happy Valentine's Day. It seems very
Happy
weird to
Valentine's
say.
Day to you.
What better way to spend Valentine's Day than two men talking about sports? Happy Valentine's Day.
Go. Come on.
Look at us go, and I'm sure that we'll have our cavalcade of favorite commenters. Favorite.
Commentators.
No, is that what we're calling them in the comment section? Are they now commentators? I guess they kind of are in their own realm. That'll probably be joining us as well to join in our Valentine's Day celebration. See, right on cue. I mean, what more do we need to celebrate Valentine's Day than Paul Reeves? I did not send Leroy a Hershey kiss.
I did not either. I did get my wife a card and got my kids some chocolate. So had that going on, which was fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. How are I know it's been a busy. It seems like this time of year. I know I was telling somebody earlier that this is like the busiest 6-week stretch of the entire year for me, probably, and I think it's probably pretty similar to you, where basketball season is coming to an end, and then right there on like the horizon, baseball's just kind of like, hey, hi. We're coming. Remember us?
Spring training already.
Yeah, Reds pitchers and catchers reported today. Yeah. And I'm even more talking just in our job realm, as far as high school baseball, high school sports, and they started practice here this week. And on the first day of practice, it was like 45 degrees and a chance of snow. I'm like, yes, welcome to Kentucky baseball. It's perfect. Your wife says that she's glad that your busy season is almost over. She hates basketball.
Yeah.
Season.
Well, and I tell you, Sam, I don't need to tell you. You know this, right? But I had basketball.
Brutal.
I was off Monday, but I just had a 9-day stretch where I had stuff every night. Then I was off for 2 days, Sunday, Monday, then basketball Tuesday, podcast tonight, and music lessons tonight. Then tomorrow, UIS, Friday, Taylorville, Saturday, UIS, next Tuesday, Taylorville. So
you see, the next week for me is, I guess I'm off tomorrow. I don't have anything going on tomorrow, which is my first day without anything in a while. And then I go girls basketball. So Friday, Saturday, center, at least. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I get to find out tonight. I've completely forgot to check to see whether I'm doing 1 or 2 games today. If the men won today, they do. So I'm now doing 2 games on Sunday. So go center. So
both
teams.
Both boys and girls for us are playing the same team.
Who do they play? Now these are the important questions. I know that they defeated Swanee tonight, so now I got to figure out who the heck both of these teams are playing, so I can be in. Okay,
that's not a real place.
It is well. See, you got to be careful. If you're talking about their athletic department, you call them Swanee. But if you're talking about the university, they're not Swanee. They're University of the South. And don't you dare mix them up, because they will be very, very unhappy, Leroy. So I do want to start it off with a predicament, Leroy, that I have that you don't know anything about. And it's something that I'm hopefully going to figure out tomorrow. Okay. I don't know who center's playing yet, but I'm hoping that it doesn't end up that I'm going to have to actually break out a toolkit because of this.
Wow.
So long story short, So long story short, for our bigger games that we broadcast, we add a camera to our stream. Usually we just have a main camera, which is just your typical, pan back and forth and so on. And then we have our somebody running the stream and so on. But for bigger games, we'll add a third person who's on the floor, who will roam around, film fans, and so on. So what we have for that person is they sit on a stool that is one of those stools that you would buy in your garage. It's got wheels on it. It's got a little shelf, and it's a little cushioned seat, and it can go up and down. You know what I mean? It's literally like a wheelie chair, but it's in stool form. It's pretty handy. It's nice, and I always thought that was smart, because then if the person who's running that camera gets hit down low, because sometimes that happens, that they'll just wheel instead of being a target. So it's great. Friday, we have a game. Put it in the sink, come take out. We do it. Great. Put it back in. On Monday, I ended up not needing it anymore. So I go to remove it from my car. Here's the issue. When I guess our crew had put it into my car, they had lifted up the seat. So to the point where, and I've got the picture of it here, Leroy, it is stuck in my trunk because it is all the way up against the top of the car. So this is the seat. So somebody must have, if you see the lever, so you see the lever there on the right side of the picture.
Yeah.
Somebody must have lifted that up, and it lifted the seat into the air. So because of that, it is pushed all the way up against the roof. Okay, and we have tried to push it back down, lifting up the lever, lifting up, and so on. So
I was going to say, can you lift up the lever and push up on the bottom of it?
Yeah, we've tried that. And it doesn't work. And now we can't tell whether it's just the crew member that was helping me with it wasn't strong enough. But the issue is it's so far into the trunk that you can't get underneath of it. You can't get any leverage on it. So I'm thinking my goodness. So tomorrow, our news director, Ken, and I are going to go at this thing and try and figure it out, because right now I'm thinking, great, am I just going to, for the rest of my life of this car, just have this thing stuck in here? Because of course it's right smack in the middle of the trunk. So what I'm thinking about is it's got these bolts you can see above the wheels. Yes, Christy, I've tried that. Yes.
Yeah, so take the bolts off. It'll be a pain in the butt.
So yes, and the downside is that I pop the trunk. No, I drive a sedan, Paul, so it's not like I can do it. It is just one of those things that I'm like, and it was one of those to start the week. And I, of course, when I figure out we need to take it out, it is pouring rain. I mean, absolutely monsooning. So I'm sitting there and I usually dress up a little bit nicer. So I'm wearing dress clothes and I walk in and I am just drenched. And I think it was one of the girls' basketball players comes up to me and says, "Hey, is it a little wet out there?" I'm like,
Luke's making fun of you.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Of course he is. Of course he is. I don't think it was one of the crew members that had done it. I think, and it clearly was unintentional. But it is absolutely wedged. I mean, wedged in there. And I have tried just about everything. And so now I hopefully am going to be able to figure it out tomorrow.
So when you tell someone to take a seat, they really take a seat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Chase. I don't think you knew this, Chase. Yeah, the stool, RIP, stuck in the trunk. Shout out to Chase, too. He came in and helped us on Saturday after we had a crew member drop out. But so, Leroy, that's kind of been the way that my week has started. And there's been other things going on, but it's just like, what are we doing? Like, why the stool of all things? And it's like, I just wanted out of my car.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going anywhere. So I guess I'm going to have to break out the toolkit and everything. So
I just want to know the after. We have to get more on this story next week. The aftermath of the famous chair and how Sam is going to manage to get this out of the car.
How thick is
You're going to have to take the wheels off.
Yes, that's the only way that I've been trying to. I built this stool 5 or 6 years ago. Like, we've had it for that long. So I can't remember exactly how it was put together, but I can feel as I reach underneath of it. Yeah, it pretty much is a second generation stool. That's accurate. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that. So I can feel a bolt underneath of it, but it's so wedged underneath that I can barely get my hand under to try and undo it and so on. How thick is the carpet? The issue is the carpet won't necessarily come out because it's on the it's on the floor of the trunk of my car. So it is.
I feel like there's an innuendo there, but that's still pretty great.
Yeah, maybe it's just a sign of you can't take the wheels off if the stud goes through the top.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yep. I think I might be just screwed.
You are screwed. You're going to sell that car. You're going to be like,
honestly, I think what it is. I appreciate it, Jason. I
got an extra seat right here.
The only way I think it's gonna come out is I'm gonna have to take like a saw to it. I'm gonna need like a power saw to like get through this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna have to tune in next week to get the thrilling conclusion of Sam and his chair. That's what you need.
Luckily, I don't need it again until next Friday. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to have happen, Paul. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can save it, though, because as Chase will tell you, sometimes getting equipment here is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world, and we're going to kind of need it. So, yeah. Great things happening here, though, Leroy.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we need to record a video of me taking a saw to it. I don't think we need that. Need to know about this chair. This is the chair, Sarah. This is the chair.
Yeah, my man's crew got stuck. You were using it for a game?
Correct.
Yeah. You were using it for a game.
Yes. It is definitely. Paul, I'll just leave the picture up for a second. I don't know which one's better. That one might be the best way to do it. And I mean, you can't pull it out because obviously the trunk has a lip.
It's so fantastic. And, oh my gosh.
So I've even tried
forever. He's going to sell that car and that seat's going to be back there when he sells it to the next person.
Yes. If the chair could talk, it's seen some things and probably smelled some things too. You've seen. That's my plan, is to try and take the wheels off, but I don't know, like Paul brought up the point, I don't know if I'm going to be able to slide the wheels off or what. Trying to take the lever off of the seat, maybe. That's a potential. And maybe that will like undo the
I feel like your crew, are you a dick to your crew? Because I feel like they just played this mean prank on you as kind of just
let's be real. Are you telling me to karate chop my crew? Because if I'm honest, this one right here is probably deserved a karate chop a time or two. But no. It is, yeah. If only you knew. If only you knew.
No, I kind of know. I've seen Sam at his best, and I've seen Sam at his worst. Okay.
If only you knew. Sometimes they deserve it, though. You know,
NASCAR pickers. Yeah, get 6 guys in there, and I'll see. How
that's literally what it's going to look like tomorrow. Is it's going to be a challenge and a half. Super Bowl was on Sunday, though, Leroy.
It was. I'll be honest with you. I was bored for 3 quarters. I'm listen. I'm going to get a whole lot of heat for that. It was a defensive Super Bowl, right? Defensive Super Bowl was a very good, close game. I had no dog in the fight, but man, I was bored stiff during that Super Bowl. It wasn't until the 4th quarter and overtime that I actually enjoyed it. But for the most part, I was just like, eh. And even the commercials weren't that great this year.
You know who I heard though was very much into it.
Oh no! Oh yes. She was very into it. Christina Klimola was so into it.
Are you leading me into this here?
I am leading into you. I'm leading you into this. So we went to I got to tell the story first.
Okay. Story time with Leroy.
Story time with Leroy. Sam got his chance to tell a story. Now it's Leroy's time to tell a story.
This dang freaking stool.
I went to my parents' house to watch Super Bowl. And we had supper, we watched the game, it was great, blah, blah, blah. My daughter, Alexis, falls asleep in my lap. So I'm kind of stuck there. And I'm sitting here. My wife is sitting in front of me, and the TV is in front of that. And every time there was a big play, my wife would get up and look at the TV to watch it. To the point where I just said, forget it. I'm just going to message the guys on my hockey group and see if I can, right there. That is what my view was for the majority of the game, was that right there. That was the majority of my game. So my dad's like, why are you on your phone so much? And I'm like, at least on my phone I can watch the game because I can't watch it. My wife's head is in the way of the TV. So that was my view for the Super Bowl. Thanks, Christy.
Do you need a pillow for the couch tonight?
I might. It's a perfect Valentine's Day.
There's a lot going on there.
I was so irritated. She's like, well, just move. I said, how am I supposed to move with my daughter laying on my lap? So that was my Super Bowl experience. But no, I thought overtime was good. I don't buy the excuse that Shanahan didn't know the rules of overtime. I don't buy that excuse. Yes, she was. She absolutely 100% was rooting for Taylor Swift's boyfriend. I've never seen a girl become a Kansas City Chiefs fan so fast in my life. Let me tell you. She was so happy in that overtime. Oh, my goodness. But no, she really enjoyed the game. And I didn't mind I thought the fourth quarter, I thought the overtime was pretty good. But I don't buy the whole excuse that Kyle Shanahan didn't know the overtime rules. Come here. Nope, I don't care.
Valentine's Day, I'm talking to my woman.
I don't care if you're talking to your woman. Say hi to everyone.
Hey, guys.
What were your thoughts
Hello.
on Tim Zellback?
Super Bowl, I hear this and that about the Super Bowl. I liked the game. I thought it had a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
like
see?
saying.
This is Tim Zellback. He works with me.
This is my girlfriend.
Nice. Hey, girlfriend. This is Angela.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we're like, this is like screen through screen through screen. Like this is.
How did senior night go tonight?
Senior night was good. Boys took a tough loss, but those seniors, they really know how to make a good interview. And we're gonna miss those guys next year.
Good deal. Have fun. I'll see you later.
You too, sir. I'll see you.
Look at that. I didn't realize. I thought we were gonna have a guest. That's not the guest that I was potentially.
No.
Is that? I didn't know that there was a man that lived.
That's his own house.
There used to be a man that lived in your basement, though.
There was.
You know that. There was. He liked to play guitar, right? Thanks, Jason, for the compliment there. I do want to talk a little bit, at least, about Travis Kelce.
Yeah. What you want to know?
Like, he really showed his true colors, I think. And I know some people are like, and the people that are taking up for him are like, oh, well, everybody's in that moment. Yeah. Are they? Like, you know the moment I'm talking about, where he goes up and is cussing out Andy Reid in his face, bumps him, and pretty much pushes him into that moment. Like, I just am like, there are not many players in the NFL that you would see do that. Would you ever see? And see, I don't know that I necessarily buy that. Is that it's said it's their relationship or something? He's just going to pick up for his.
I just laughed that Reid went home after the Super Bowl and he all had a smile on his face. Right, he gets home and he goes to his wife. He pushed me, man. Like I'm supposed to be all happy about it, but he pushed me. No, but I thought Antonio Brown made a good point. Brown said if he would have done that, it would have been all over everything, and he probably would have got suspended for it.
I'll be honest, I didn't have Antonio Brown made a good point on my from the Pressbox bingo card today. Didn't have it.
He gets one. Everybody gets one. That's his it. That's his one. But I wonder though if Kelce, Kelce gets away with it because of his image, because of his good boy image. I don't necessarily know if a lot of other guys are getting away with that. If it would have been a ref, would they have been like, "Oh, it's fine. Oh, you're good"? No, if it would have been a ref, it would have been a huge. It would have been a huge freaking penalty.
I'm not even gonna say anything. Not even gonna say anything. Kumbaya.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Kumbaya.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know that I necessarily say is going to piss me off like Paul says, but I was just kind of like, Sarah, what did I ever do to you? Like, I much prefer when you're just going at Leroy. Like, it's a lot more fun with that. He's at least probably done something to tick you off. I don't know what I've ever done. I feel like it showed his true colors. And that's kind of my take with it. And I don't know. It's just...
I just laughed at all the Swifties who were like, "Oh my gosh, we need to get an OP for Taylor. We have to protect Taylor at all costs." Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. And then the game as a whole, I kind of agree with you. It was at least the ending was entertaining. I was obviously, cheering for the 49ers. It's not like I was necessarily like go 49ers. It was more probably against the Chiefs than necessarily for the 49ers.
Yeah.
And I just think in that first half, the 49ers had the chances that I think if they would have scored one more time in the first half, Chiefs would not have come back in the game. And I'm not necessarily making that as the point of, win it overtime. So obviously if they would have scored one more time, and I'm not I'm more just saying that I feel like the game would have not been close in that realm because I think they were one score away from putting a knife into it. And go for that. And I kind of agree here with what Paul says. He ran into him, overweight, out of shape, old man. He shouldn't be pushing on your elders. And yeah, that's kind of my takeaway from it as a whole.
But again,
it was not as bad of a hit as some people say it was. It was a bad hit, but I think people blow it out of context. And to blame him for Antonio Brown is blasphemy. There we go. I said it.
The extra point didn't kill it. What do you think? They fired their DC today. Is that just Shanahan trying to blame somebody? Because the defense wasn't the problem for San Francisco. And he's really screwed right now because all the good DC jobs have been taken.
Don't the Bears need one?
No, we picked up Seattle's or something. I'm almost tempted to say, "Hey, sorry, we've got a new opening. Thanks for your 2 weeks of help, but we're gonna go a different way." We didn't know he was available, but I'm just saying, Wilkes is absolutely screwed right now for the 49ers because they had a good defense. That was what kept them in that game was the 49ers defense.
49ers going to get Vrabel as their defensive coordinator. That would be interesting, Forrest said. That would be interesting.
That would.
I'm just very interested to see now this offseason as to how everything's going to change. You've got so many teams that have a lot of questions and how, with cap space, I mean, and we're going to have here in the next couple of weeks.
Cap space isn't real.
What?
Cap space isn't real.
To the Cincinnati Bengals, it is. It's very real. They're the team that actually believes it's real. It's hilarious. They're always have the most cap space because they never spend it all. And then you get teams like the Saints who are $70 million over cap space or something.
And always make it work.
I'm just interested into how everything goes because the first big question of the offseason is your team, Leroy. And I think in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have an NFL offseason preview show, probably in early March, right before free agency. It probably makes some sense to talk more about that. And that's probably not a decision that'll be answered until right before the draft is what your team's going to do. I know that the Forces team has been rumored as to being potentially interested in your guy. And you know what I say? Let's go. Bring him in there. Let's go. They can take Justin Fields. Absolutely. Just add another running back to the AFC North.
We want the Patriots to get Justin Fields. That's what we want. We want Patriots to get Justin Fields.
Really?
That way we can pick up both Caleb and Marvin Harrison. That'll work out just fine.
If the Patriots trade you the number 3 overall pick for Justin Fields, everybody should be fired and sent to the moon. Everybody should be fired and sent to the moon.
I just laughed that the NFL had a guy that works for NFL.com. I don't remember who wrote the story, but that was his big, bold headline trade. And I'm like, man, how are you employed by the Patriots? Or by the NFL? My goodness, man. Yeah, you know what, Forrest? I think it's a lot of hype. I think Poles is putting it out there that teams are interested when they're really not. It'll be interesting, and then just trying to drive that trade price up. I don't necessarily know if
the Steelers also know that they can easily rip the Bears off like they did with Chase Claypool. How he ever got a second-round pick, I will never understand. And even Forrest, how you all pulled that off, I will never understand. Leroy, I will never forgive you for that.
Yeah, you're right, man. What was I thinking?
Yeah, it's your fault. Yep, it's all your fault. I'm glad you finally admitted that.
Well, guess what? It's your fault Joe Burrow got hurt. Sit with that.
And I'm just going to remove him from the show altogether with that. Altogether. I could just take you off the show. Because this actually...
You can't handle that when that comes back your way, can you?
Leroy, I have a brand new segment to debut today. Something that I haven't told you about. And it's the perfect timing for it.
Uh-huh.
It is called Sam and Leroy Need to Shut Up. So I was listening. I was curious as to how our picks went to start the NFL season. And I found our episode, and I just clicked to a random point, and it immediately went to a take that I said, you both need to shut up. So then I went through that episode and got a couple of clips of things that make us look really stupid and ways that we just need to shut up next year. So are you ready, Leroy? This is 40 seconds from our NFL preview show of reasons that
oh my gosh, I can't.
That we need to shut up.
Paul, it's cutting out for me too.
Interesting. I don't know. It's showing that I'm having some issues. I don't really know why. My internet is... I don't know. Here it is. It should work without issues.
The other big thing that scares me about the Jets is the depth. If Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, you have Zach Wilson in there. All right?
And I mean, you could easily say that about every team in the NFL.
Right.
But if Joe Burrow gets hurt, then they have Jake Browning. I mean, it's...
I know. It's one of those things where I just don't see the Jets being...
The AFC South.
Yeah.
Houston, right? Winning the division? Indianapolis? Tennessee?
It's awful.
Jordan Love.
Love is awful.
We don't even know what it was, and I had to make sure there was a comment about Jordan Love earlier.
No,
so first off...
I said if the Jets got hurt, that they're black.
Well, no, I know, but more of what I'm saying is, so the first point on that was you predicted Rodgers getting hurt, and then I decided to open my mouth and say Joe Burrow is going to get hurt. So we both need to shut up about injured quarterbacks next year. And then I put in my bad take about the Texans are going to win the division, right? Look at us. But nobody actually saw that. And then the final point is Justin Fields sucks. What?
Hey, the guest of honor has arrived. Maybe.
Guest of honor?
Yes, hello.
I'm your guest of honor.
It's not my guest of honor. It's Jacob. It's my other. Both guys had games today.
Everybody's coming in. If somebody pops into mine, I'm gonna be a little worried, Leroy.
Hey, look. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. But I found that was kind of funny on some of our takes from the preseason.
That's why I choose not to go back over old episodes, because I know if I go over old episodes,
I just found it. So the injury clip was the first one that I listened to. I just clicked to a random point, and you're just like, if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, and I'm like, if Joe Burrow gets hurt,
you're like, you can make that point about every team, but especially the Jets
and the Bengals. Fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
Fantastic.
That's fantastic.
The UFL, Leroy.
Yes, so the UFL, and now they're becoming 6 weeks. 6 weeks until the UFL opens up. For those of you who don't know what the UFL is, the XFL along with, who was it? The two leagues merged. The
USFL.
USFL, yeah. So they have released their rules that they're going to have, and I'm going to go over some, and we'll talk about whether or not we like these rules or whether we think they're horrible. All right, first things first, we're going to start with points after touchdown. Teams will have 3 scrimmage plays, run/pass options, following a touchdown. 2-yard line, 1 point for a successful try. 5-yard line, 2 points. And 10-yard line, 3 points. Do we like that? Do we not like that?
They did this last year. Yep. I remember. Yep. And it was kind of fun. It was fun. I guess I don't know that I want that in the NFL.
Right.
But it was fun.
Listen, if the NFL implemented it, you'd see some really crazy strategies, especially in the third and fourth quarter, as teams gambled whether or not their defense could handle things or not.
Yeah, can you imagine in one of the last touchdowns of that game on Sunday?
Oh, yeah. That missed extra point, I know it.
Yeah, like what would the 49ers have done in that scenario if they would have had that option to do it?
All right. Overtime rules. Overtime will consist of alternating attempts to score from the opponent's 5-yard line. No kicks allowed. It'll be a best of 3 format or until a winner has been determined.
So it's more similar to college.
Correct.
Which I like.
I love college overtime.
But I don't like that now but this is like the third overtime and more like going across than go Tops, Sarah. Yeah, Leroy and I'll both give us a go Tops.
Yep, go Tops.
And I don't like the third overtime on in college football where now it's just they alternate the plays there. I wish it was just more like straight up overtime in college football. You know, you start from the 25 or something like that, or heck, even start from the 10. You got 4 plays. I'm fine with a no kicking thing. That's fine with me.
Kickoffs and other kicking and touch rules. Kickoffs will look more like traditional college and NFL. They'll take place from the 20-yard line of the kicking team. A kickoff out of bounds will give possession of the receiving team 30 yards from the spot of the kickoff or at the spot where the ball went out of bounds. Kickoff that's untouched may only be recovered by the kicking team up to 20 yards from the spot of the kick. All touchbacks will be placed at the receiving team's 25-yard line, and then it talks about punts as well, but that's all the same.
Okay.
That seems pretty standard.
All right. See, I do like Paul's idea here. They should let the centers run a 40-yard dash. Whoever's the fastest wins.
No, we don't have all day, man. Rules for 2 forward passes. Teams will be allowed, as they were last year, to throw 2 forward passes on one play. Ball cannot cross the line of scrimmage at any time prior to the second forward pass being thrown.
Say that again.
2 forward passes are allowed in one play, but there's a caveat to that. The ball cannot cross the line of scrimmage at any time prior to the second forward pass being thrown. So they can go way back, throw the ball forward,
and then throw it again.
The line of scrimmage,
okay.
They can throw it, and then that one can go past the line of scrimmage.
Braden, no, it was not rigged. I don't think it was. I didn't want the Chiefs to win.
That Super Bowl proved it wasn't rigged. I thought the officiating was pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know that I have a problem with that. A lot of these two are like, I need to see it.
Yeah.
The double forward pass, I don't know.
All right. While onside kicks are allowed at any time during the game, teams will have an alternate option to retain possession in the fourth quarter. If a team is tied or behind during the fourth quarter, it may elect to retain possession after a score with a 4th and 12 from its own 28-yard line.
Braden, I don't have to put your comment on the screen if you're going to start making comments like this. My goodness. Braden is a high schooler at Grayson County. He didn't like that I called him out because he was wearing that jersey in the student section on Jersey Day, and I said that's atrocious. It's an awful jersey to wear. So this is you get to run a play, right?
Yes.
Instead, and then I like that for the onside kick. Because I mean, how often do you honestly see an onside kick be successful?
Yeah, hardly any.
In high school, you see it all the time. But in the NFL, you never see it.
All right. And finally, catch definition and defensive pass interference. A completed catch or interception is defined as a player securing control of the ball prior to the ball touching the ground and touching the ground inbounds with both feet or with any part of his body other than his hands. That seems pretty standard. Defensive pass interference will result in a 15-yard penalty or spot foul if the foul occurred less than 15 yards downfield. Intentional defensive pass interference will result in a spot foul if it is beyond 15 yards downfield. Can we tell if somebody's intentional?
More interpretation to officials.
Do we like that?
I don't know. The chat popping up for you is very delayed. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Paul. How can you tell if
I don't know.
intentional? I don't necessarily like giving our officials, not necessarily more control, but more suggestive control. Because when you start getting into suggestive control, that's where you start getting into the whole "is it rigged" type conversations. When you give that kind of leeway over whether or not a call is going to be made, whether or not we think something is intentional, you start really getting into gray areas in sports. It's one of the biggest problems that we have with the strike zone that's shown on TV, right? Players have said multiple times that the strike zone on TV does not match the strike zone that they are dealing with when they're literally at the plate. And because of that, you tend to run into issues where it's kind of a gray area where, well, it looked like a strike to me, even though it was, 6 inches up off the plate.
And I think, in baseball, too, every umpire has a little bit different of a strike zone.
Correct.
And I agree. I think it should be a spot foul.
So those are the UFL rules. I skipped a few of them that were kind of self-explanatory, but those were the big ones right there.
Do you watch these?
Huh?
Do you watch these games?
I do, but only because I run XFL Facebook page, so that's why I watch it. But I don't watch it as closely as I do because Chicago doesn't have a team. I do root for the Cacaw from St. Louis, but yes, I think I would like it more if there was an actual Chicago team that was.
Yeah, and if Cincinnati had a team, like I've considered following the Battlehawks.
Yeah, that's who I follow.
But I don't know that I care enough to go to a game.
I wouldn't go. I'll keep up with it and watch it out. I'll probably if it's on, I'll have it on. Of course, if there's other stuff that's going on, I'll probably watch that. But
yes, and Luke, I immediately sent it to Leroy immediately when it came out. I've
already got pre-order.
I was gonna say you can now pre-order the stuff.
Yep, Leroy already pre-ordered. He was super excited about that.
It's pretty awesome.
Speaking of jerseys, have you seen the new Major League Baseball jerseys? They are awful.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
If you have not seen the new Major League Baseball jerseys, they are awful. It's like somebody told. So Nike created new jerseys, and boy, I wish I could send this over to you, Sam, so you can see the difference between it. See if you can find it up. Fanatics is running it, and it looks like somebody told Nike if they make the font from 12 to 10, they'll save like $2,500 because it looks atrocious. I'll see if I can find a picture of the new the
Vapor Premier. Is that what we're talking about? I haven't seen them either.
Yes, and it is awful. It looks like a kid's knockoff jersey. Hold on, I got it. I'll send it to you.
This is great. Okay, I can kind of see. Okay, let me see now. The issue is how do I switch this now? I did a bad thing on opening it up on a different computer, which is not very intelligent because now I'm gonna have to figure out how to get it to my other computer. Did you just send me something? Okay, here, let me do it this way.
But again, Paul, it really feels like somebody told them they would save a ton of money if they switched to a smaller font. That's the only thing, like government spending or something like that. Hey, if we only put 8 Ps instead of 12 Ps, we'll save $4,000 per person or something stupid like that. It looks awful, and I'm really disappointed that MLB said that it was okay because it looks fake. It looks absolutely fake.
Let's see if I can't pull it up here. If my computer will allow it, because today it's deciding to be slow. Here we go. I got it here. It's coming. So here's the jerseys.
Okay, so the one in the middle is last year's jersey. The one on the right, the Kirby one, that's the new version.
Yeah, it does look a lot smaller. I'm interested too. Like the Reds have Christian Encarnacion Strand. like very long last name. Like how small are his letters going to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
It does. I hadn't seen that. That hadn't come across. I've been so busy these past couple of days that I'd completely missed that come through. But yeah, no, that doesn't look good. That does not look good at all. Have the Cubs gotten their City Connect yet?
They got the actually they had pretty cool jerseys. The Rays are getting new ones this year, which I'm interested. So is Cleveland. The Rays, Cleveland, Minnesota. Who else is getting City Connects this year? So there's 9 new teams that are getting ones this year. Cleveland, Detroit, Minnesota, New York, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, and Toronto, New York Mets.
Interesting. I think when we're talking about jerseys and logos and so on, it's the perfect time to try and cue this music here for everyone's favorite segment. Leroy's logos.
The Brew Crew are going to suck this year. They're in full rebuild, and I'm not exaggerating on that. They are legit.
I was shocked when they traded Burns.
Yeah, they are in full rebuild mode, and that's not an exaggeration or Leroy insulting Wisconsin. That's straight up reality.
It's everyone's favorite segment, Leroy's logos. The game is simple. I have 3 college logos. Leroy's just got to tell me what school it is. It's easy. And then the theme for it, Leroy, you are hitting 384. 384.
That's
you went 2 for 4 last week.
That's dropped a little bit, man.
Yeah, you were above 400 for a sequence there. So, Leroy, would you like door number 1, 2, or 3 here to open up Leroy's logos for today?
We've struggled, so we're going to go with door number 1 to try to get things a little bit easier.
Door number 1. You've done very well on door number 1 as of late. I think looking at it quick, it's something like 5 out of the last 10 on door number 1.
That's the old New England Patriots right there. Oh my goodness.
Door number 1 here on today's Leroy's Logos episode.
Is that I'll go with Virginia College. I don't know.
Virginia College. That is incorrect. The correct answer, I know this is going to blow your mind, Leroy.
Yeah.
You'll never guess who got it correct.
Forrest got it correct. Come on now.
Robert Morris. Old Bobby Moe is door number 1 for today's episode.
Is that a picture of Morris right there?
Yeah, old Robert Morris. He's old
Everybody
man Morris.
knows Robert Morris.
Yeah,
right?
He's old man Morris's boy.
Is he the guy that does cigarettes?
Yeah.
That's Philip Morris. Philip Morris does cigarettes.
2 or 3.
2. Oh, that's not fun. No, that's too hard, man. Because it's too easy. Like, I'm going to mess it up because it's like...
I was waiting for somebody to make the comment, Chase. Thanks. Robert Morris beat Kentucky in the NIT in 2013.
Hey,
Robert Morris.
Oh, we don't go to the NIT.
Once.
And that's why you never go back. Because you guys got beat by Robert Morris.
Because for some reason, Kentucky was the 1 seed and for some reason couldn't play at home. And so they had to go on the road to Robert Morris. And so when Kentucky goes, and Robert Morris's gym is like 1,200 people, it was like they were playing in a high school gym. It's pretty wild.
I'll go with the University of Southern California.
Southern California is your guess. And where are my buttons? There they are. That is incorrect, but I will say this. Paul Reeves pulls it out. I'm not sure if he copied off of Forest, but is Santa Clara University.
See, it's illegal for two California teams to have a maroon SC.
And your final one, Leroy, on today's episode of Leroy's Logos.
Oh, well, hey, Sarah, weren't we just talking about this place today? We were just talking about this place today. Sarah
gosh. No.
Sarah should get this one just perfect. That is Northern Illinois Huskies.
Northern Illinois Huskies. Leroy, you are incorrect. No, you're right.
You
are right.
You get to say I'm wrong enough. You don't need to make it up when I get one right, all right?
Now, I will say that the theme, you will want to maybe consider the entirety of the logo. I obviously had to cut it off. But...
Oh, yeah.
So, Leroy, what is the theme for today's episode of Leroy's Logos between Robert Morris, Santa Clara, and Northern Illinois?
They're all teams that beat Kentucky.
Wow. Sarah's in a mood today. No, I don't think Santa Clara...
She said you were in the mood today. That's interesting.
No, that is incorrect. Is that your actual...
No, come on now. Robert Morris, Santa Clara, and...
That explains it.
NIU.
I tried to drop a hint to you.
By that? By saying that?
No, I mean, you can trust Paul Reeves' advice, but I said you might need to consider the entirety of the NIU logo.
Oh.
I had to cut it off because obviously it says Northern Illinois or NIU. I can't remember which one it says underneath it. And what fun is it to do that? What is the theme for today's episode of Leroy's Logos?
I don't know, bud. Red for Valentine's Day.
Correct. All three have red as their main logo. Robert Morris, Santa Clara, and Northern Illinois.
Cool.
Might have helped you do that a little bit, but that's okay. It's a holiday, and I'm feeling generous.
That's good because I was pretty generous during drivers. So,
Leroy, now that bumps up your total 387. So you move up 3 points.
We're doing it, man.
Listen, I have to make my themes easy sometimes because I've got a couple coming up.
Please don't tell him that he's being. Listen.
I mean, do you want me to be harder next week, Sarah?
Paul and I already have dealt with him being.
I think Forrest is probably on team make him harder, because I can't usually stump him. Would you like to ask or answer first on our play clock segment, Leroy?
I think I asked first last time, so I'll answer first.
Sure. I don't remember. Oh, well, listen, the people have said be harder next week.
That's not fair. Forrest gets every single question right, and Luke's your brother.
Listen, if my brother's on my side, I'm shocked he is on my side, and he's not on the other one. So, okay. I've had one that I've been keeping in the back pocket, but since they say they want it harder, okay. Make sure you tune in next week for a challenging episode, maybe of Leroy's Logo. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to decide. More people coming in. That's one of Luke's friends that's commenting there. Former neighbor. So, Leroy, what's the best sound in sports?
The crack of the bat on a grand slam home run. And I tell you what, there is nothing better than hearing that sound of a good solid hit on a baseball. Oh my goodness, that is the greatest sound in sports right there. There's no comparison. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, and listen, as the goalies would say, a goalpost, absolutely, but there's nothing better than a good, solid hitting baseball off the bat.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
That's a good point, Sarah. That is a good, valid point.
Luke's right. Ball hitting the glove as well. That's a good sound. That I don't even know if it's a crack or a whip or a thud into the glove. That's a good one. And what's a better sound, metal or wooden bat?
For me, wood, but metal is pretty. We went to a couple WKU games where that was a no doubter. Like the second that hit the bat, that you knew that ball was going a long way, man.
And that ping.
Ting! Oh my goodness, fantastic!
What's that sound again?
I'm not doing it again. Wow. Okay. All right, Sarah.
That's how the show's going now. Okay, I'm ready. I need to change the subject right now before.
All right. You're sitting in your house. You open up your front door, and there's the driveway right there, where everybody parks.
And I see this.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
No, you see your dream car. Could be any year, could be any car whatsoever. What are we looking at?
Paul, stop. Stop.
I didn't say it. That's not
all you, Leroy. It's all you. It's all you. I mean, he's the one that also dropped this one a few minutes ago, but I don't think you saw that one. This is a kids show. What is my dream car? I'm not necessarily a car guy to really have an answer to that.
Why I asked you.
Like, I like the car I have now.
Because there's a wrong answer, Sam. There's a wrong answer.
Yes, but I would never give that answer on this show. That's clearly the point. No, I mean, I don't. I like the car I have right now. I'll tell you what it's not a Hummer. And Sarah's is probably not a wrong answer.
Why are we
one without a stool stuck in the trunk? That would probably be a good one. Probably a good answer. Give me a Camaro. I don't know, or a Corvette or something. There we go. We're from Bowling Green. We've got the Bowling Green connection. Give me a Corvette. You okay?
Yes.
Leroy, look at it. It's freaking stuck. It's not coming out.
If you had a Hummer, it wouldn't have been stuck in the back seat.
Well, see, here's the funny thing. It never would come out. Because the Hummer doesn't work. This is not your question, Leroy, but I got to go with, I don't know. How about give me Tony Stewart?
Yeah, we haven't had our NASCAR IndyCar / segment yet for the day, but I think Kyle Busch finally breaks that streak of losing.
What a shock. Chase brings the one David Reagan fan that actually exists. I got an interesting question here for you, Leroy.
Okay.
Because I honestly don't know your answer to this. If you were given the chance in your life, and let's say money didn't matter, to go to Mars, would you?
No. And the only reason I say that is because of my kids. I'll tell you what, you asked me about 10 years ago, I would have been all for it. I know what you're thinking. 10 years ago, Bailey was like 8. Oh, yeah. I was all right with going to Mars when Bailey was 8 years old. Let me tell you, little hellion. But no, I'm too old to do that stuff. Give me about 10, 15 years ago, I was all for it, man. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I really hope that within the next 50 to 100 years, we do get people on Mars. That would be pretty awesome. I would love that. Yeah, that's my answer. No.
See, I don't know. Like, if you told me it was safe.
You ever see that movie with Matt Damon in it? Where Matt Damon goes to Mars?
No.
There's a movie. Somebody help me in the chats or in the comments section. There's a movie in that Matt Damon stars in, where he goes to Mars and like has to try to like buy like. That's not fair, Sarah.
The Martian?
Is that what it's called? It might be that might be what it's called. I don't know what it was called, but like he goes to Mars and he's like he ends up going like stir crazy because like there's nobody else there. I'm like he ends up like
yep, he's right. The Martian. Yeah, no, I don't know like if it was safe, but I mean the biggest thing is the time it takes to get there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, Sam, I'm going to put you on the spot, and you're not going to like this one, but I feel it's appropriate for today. Who was your first Valentine, and what grade were you in?
I have no earthly idea.
You just don't want to say what it is.
Oh, like I legitimately would have no earthly idea on that answer.
You guys have
because
to give
like
yeah,
but see, yeah, that's how it was. So in elementary school, is to bring in Valentines, you had to write one because I remember they would print off the list of all of the kids into the class.
Yeah,
and you know your mom would go and you'd pick out your Valentines and you'd write them all out, and everybody would get one. So it really wasn't like it was ever a thing because they didn't want that kid to feel like he was left out because nobody wanted to be his Valentine, which probably would have been me. See, and Paul, like I legitimately like this is not me copping out. Like I legitimately don't know that I'd have an answer for that. I don't even know who my first crush would be. That's a long time ago.
You're like 23.
I choose you. What is that from? That's why no one likes you. What is I choose you from? Oh, that's from The Simpsons, isn't it? Yep. It's Ralph Wiggum. Okay, I knew it. Yep.
Oh,
yeah, and in all seriousness, I literally like that's not even me. Hand up. I don't know that I would have a. Do you have one answer?
There was a girl when I lived in New Orleans. I was 6 or 7 when I lived in New Orleans. Her name was Lucy. She was like the cutest girl in the entire class. So,
yeah. And I legitimately don't know. I'd have to like think.
Yeah.
About it. And I'd almost be like one of those things I'd have to get out the yearbook and like look and remember like, oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah, no, I do not remember. Leroy, since I guess I kind of got something off my chest earlier, the frickin' stool.
Oh, I cannot wait for next week to get the thrilling conclusion of the stool. Oh my goodness.
Are you friends with Lucy on Facebook or anything?
Not. I don't even know her last name. I wouldn't even be able to like look her up. Type in like what? So let's see.
What happens? I'm going to get her on the show next week.
41-year-old Lucy's from New Orleans.
I'm going to get her on the show next week.
Oh my goodness.
And you get to introduce her to Christy.
There you go.
Oh. But Leroy, you have an off my chest for this week, which is a segment where you get to rant about whatever is on your mind.
I do. And listen, we don't like to. No, we love doing this. This whole podcast started because Sam and I wanted to share our opinions as broadcasters. And so this might seem kind of dumb to some of you, but this is a absolutely annoying pet peeve of mine. We sit, for the most part, in some place, especially for basketball, in a place called Media Row. Okay? Generally in Media Row, it's writers, journalists, newspaper guys, TV sometime there, and radio. Of course, radio broadcasters are. Some, like college, everybody's on one side. Everybody's on one side in college. In some places, you know, half the guys are on one side and half the guys are on the other side. Sam, you know what I'm talking about. Media Row, okay? The rules for Media Row and press boxes and places where you do that kind of work there are rules for those rooms. No cheering, no going nuts, no clapping or going, or being extra loud. And the reason that those rules exist is so that everybody can work. It's a working environment. It's not, those guys aren't there. And even if they may like the team, they're not there to cheer on the team, because there's 60,000 other places that you can go in that stadium to cheer on the game. And my pet peeve, and it's been happening a whole lot this season, is people going to Media Row and cheering, clapping their hands, saying that's not travel. Listen, I hear enough in my headphones from people sitting behind me, because if you've seen my Taylor Mill games, I sit right in front of the visitor section, which is sometimes good and sometimes bad. But it drives me absolutely insane when I can hear in my headphones, that wasn't travel, from a guy who's sitting 2 inches away from me. You're not there to cheer. You can go anywhere else in the gym to cheer. Am I wrong on this?
You're lucky you have that. We sit in the middle of the stands.
And listen, I give up those rights when I sit in the stands.
He's already there, Paul. He's already there.
Oh, yeah.
He's already there.
Yeah.
The funny thing is
I don't mind cheering for games. You know me. I'll be blatantly loud when I go to sporting events when I'm not working. But they're there to do a job.
So funny story about Chase with this is we were working one game and an opposing fan, County. Sorry, something in my throat. Sorry, I just had like that in my throat there. A mom leans down to Chase in the middle of our broadcast and tells him, "How much y'all paying these refs?"
To Chase?
And I am broadcasting. This is from me. I mean, Chase was probably sitting within 3 feet of me. And I've never gone back to listen to see if it picked up, but it had to have picked up on my microphone. I turned around and I gave her the look of one. Chase at this point was 16, 17. I'm like, you are talking to a 16 or you're a grown woman talking to a 16 or a 17-year-old kid. And two, we're trying to do a job. Like, we're trying to work.
I throw away
and
all
then
those
Chase
moves.
And then Chase got really excited at the end of the game because Grayson County won on a buzzer beater, stood up and spiked his headphones to the ground and broke them. So now from then on out, we had to buy cheap headphones because the boss wouldn't let us bring the studio headphones anymore. True story. He'll back it up.
That's fantastic. And listen, I throw away those rules. When I'm sitting and I've had games, listen, we've all had games that we've called where we've sat in the bleachers, and sometimes those are
See, and it's very rare other than football season that I'm not in a scenario like that.
That's crazy. Here. That's crazy. I think I've only sat in the bleachers like 3 times this year.
Yeah, 100% true. It's exactly.
Way to come clean on that one, bud.
Oh, it is. And the headphones, when I cleaned out the office, they had sat in a corner as like it was like the graveyard. And I finally had to throw them away.
You got to wrap them up for Christmas and give them to him.
Yeah.
Like, here you go. Merry Christmas, bud.
It just was like, what are we? That's probably what Chase should have said, though, Sarah. I've got no money.
Bro, I have no money.
I work for K105.
But yeah, that is my rant of the day is you know.
And I think in that realm, though, is that
understand that those guys are there to work. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I didn't know this aspect of the story. I did not. I don't know if Chase is making that up, but I do not know this part of the story. Her husband leaned over and keep it up, and you'll leave with a boot in your.
This just in: Kentucky has higher rates of domestic violence than any other state does. In America, no, I'm just kidding.
That was after the game. Gosh, I don't remember that. Leroy, what did I say about Grayson County, Edmonton County? Crazy things happen.
Pretty heated rivalry.
Oh yeah, and did I mention that they now were going to play each other in the playoffs 2 weeks from yesterday? If you're looking for something to do, come on to Lynch Vegas because you never know what might happen.
You did message me a couple days ago and ask if I could come down and help you out. So I fully.
And then Chase ended up helping out.
Chase saved the day. That's good.
Yes.
That's good. Way to be a man, Chase.
But my pet peeve in that same realm is it's something similar and ironically enough, we at home, we are at it's a very typical gym. So where there's like 2 levels. So you have your lower level, then there's like a little walkway and up a second level. Sarah, yes, I am in Kentucky. And we are at the top of the lower level. So there is then there are columns to go down all of the rows and to go up to the top. We always mark off the column right next to me so people won't walk up and down through there, but also our camera is stationed there. Most fan bases get that it's chained off, probably can't walk through it. Well, the team we played on Monday, who shall remain nameless, Butler County. Sorry. I just had some things in my throat today, Leroy. They multiple times, and they do the thing where they stand and they're looking for somewhere to sit, and they're blocking my view. And I'm giving them the look of, will you move out of the way? I'm trying to broadcast the game. And it's just like, what's happening? What? Oh, look, there's Billy Bob. So that's in that same realm of just the lack of respect for us trying to do our jobs.
Yes, and that's what it boils down to is, and
it's in the same realm as you're off my chest.
You have a guy come up to us, that sits next to us and starts cheering for. We were up 50-23. He's rooting for the team that's losing. He's rooting for the team that has 23 and sits right next to the table broadcast crew in media row, mind you, and then gives us dirty looks when we get excited for a 3-point tray. Again, you could have sat anywhere else in that gym. There was plenty of empty spaces you could have sat where you didn't have to listen to me call a game. So
there was a game, and I think Chase was here for this. In fact, he had to have been. It's been probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
we were at. Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially in a Grayson County, Edmonson County game or Grayson County, Butler County. Absolutely,
that's the home of Billy Bob right there. Let me tell you.
But we were in their press box had 2 doors. This is Hart County High School. So 2 rooms. Neither was very big. So they had one room, which was clock, PA, and maybe the guy running music. Maybe. I don't really remember. I know their radio crew. The other room was visiting radio crew and home coaches. So I was in a room with the home coaching staff. Grayson County won something like 40-0. There's nothing more awkward than coming and, touchdown Cougars, and the coaches in the background, we gave up another. Or there was like one moment in the game I remember that there was they made some semblance of a call. Like they either went for it on 4th down that didn't make any sense, or they should have gone for it or something. I remember I was like, I'm not really sure what the coaching staff is doing. And they kind of look over like, who brought this guy? And I'm like,
right here.
I was like, I don't care. It's like, I was like, scoreboard. Look at that. The Cougs. But more eyes than teeth. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. But
all right, brother, you ready for drivers?
Oh, I forgot all about that.
What would you like? Driver 1, 2, or 3? For those of you who don't know, we have a segment for Sam because Sam doesn't really follow racing at all. Where all he has to do is tell me, thank you, Chase. Happy Speed Week to you too, my brother. Where you have to tell whether or not he's a NASCAR driver, an IndyCar driver, or an F1 driver. We haven't even made this difficult with NHRA drivers, man. We could really just throw you off, throw in some IMSA and other guys like that. Oh my God, we could really have some fun.
Did you just say you want Division II logos? Okay.
I will get you on some Division II logos. Don't mess with me, Gormley. All right. So
I could just do colleges in the state of Kentucky and could stump you.
I'm good on that. That sounds horrible.
Okay. Okay. Let me. Comments are off. Okay.
You say 1, 2, or 3.
Reverse order. Let's go 3, 2, 1.
Reverse order. Hold on. I gotta switch this out. Hold on.
Okay, then just pick one.
I got it.
See, I love that we always say this, but theoretically, we have no idea what order the other person really goes in. You know, like I could say that you picked door 1, but I could easily click door number 3 and you'd have no idea.
That's true.
Oh, that guy looks familiar.
There's driver number 3.
Is that Avery Cooper?
I'm going to send him that. After this podcast.
Does kind of look like him, doesn't it?
It does look like Avery.
It does. IndyCar. I feel like Avery would be an IndyCar driver if he'd be an.
Yes, absolutely. That's Kiffin Simpson. He's the brand new Chip Ganassi driver for this year for IndyCar. Good job.
Yeah, Cole, obviously, always going to support the tops. Am I insinuating Leroy is untrustworthy? I don't know. Am I? Okay. We're all caught up on the comments. Always go tops, though, Cole. Oh, my goodness. We didn't need to see Avery that close.
That was not what I wanted to do. Hold on. What is this?
Wait a second. Here you go. Oh, there's the question from Chase. I don't know what his means.
He was an IMSA driver when that picture was. Yeah, I think he was a ECF2. But yeah.
I think he was a 49F driver then. He wasn't ECMF2. You're crazy. Q4F3?
What am I going to do? No, they got all the stupid little levels for it, man. Like, hold on. This is being so dumb. There we go.
It's okay. I mean, we're just I'm glad that you are more careful with putting things on the screen so we don't get scarred again.
You're welcome. It was the finger.
Okay. Finger. Okay. Phallic finger. NASCAR.
Okay. Final answer?
Yep.
That's correct. That's Alex Bowman.
Did he? He broke a streak tonight? What streak did he break tonight? Do you know, Leroy?
I don't. I haven't kept up with anything at all tonight. As far as I know, they had the qualifying and everything tonight.
Who won it in the Los Angeles? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't remember. Hold on.
Rusty Wallace?
Yes, Rusty.
Ricky Rudd? He had previously qualified on the front row of the Daytona 500 for 7 years straight. Wow, I had no idea on that. Shows you how much. He did not tonight. It was a record. Interesting. The more you know. Ooh, for a second, I thought that was Dale Jr. It's not, but it kind of looks like him, doesn't it? A little bit like in the chin.
I don't think if you let Dale Earnhardt not shave for like a year, I don't think he'd grow a beard like that.
Listen, we met. Well, no, we didn't meet Dale Jr. We tried to.
Yeah, we definitely tried.
We were in the same room as him, and Chase got to meet the guy from the radio coverage.
Nice.
I'm gonna say Indy.
Final answer?
Yes, he's too pretty to be a NASCAR driver.
No, except he is a NASCAR driver. That's JJ Yealy.
JJ Yealy.
Yeah.
Dude qualified 41st tonight. Interesting. He's still a thing. That's a man with a nice beard. Okay. I didn't realize I had so many. Denny Hamlin won the Clash.
That's right, yeah.
Interesting. He has raced more numbers than a NASCAR driver ever. Did you know that?
I did not. But he's been around the circuit quite a while. He's a very.
I know the name.
Very familiar, and because he's a familiar, we have a few of those in IndyCar. A few of those guys that. Well, I tell you what, my driver, not Scott, the other driver that I follow from Chicago, David Malukas, broke his hand biking the series openers in 29 days, and he's gonna be out for 6 weeks. So they're now scrambling to try to find a backup driver. It's been kind of interesting hearing the names that popped up as far as available drivers for him. So,
did they not ask you?
They didn't. I was very upset that I didn't get the call, but
not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Leroy?
How'd we do on our picks for the Super Bowl?
Right on cue. I was just right on cue. The pick contest has ended.
Ilot's who I'm hearing, Chase. Ilot's who I'm hearing.
And the pick contest has ended. Leroy, we both had the opportunity. Well, I guess it's not accurate, but throughout the season, there were 202 total points.
Yep.
Leroy, you finished with 110, 54.73%. I finished with 126, 63.32%.
So we're both as good as meteorologists.
Pretty much. Not great. It was much closer as it went along. To recap our picks from last week, Grayson County faced Breckenridge County. Leroy, you went with the Cougs, and the Cougs were without their third leading scorer. Their fourth leading scorer was coming back from an illness, and it was not a great day in Harned. Cougs lost to Breckenridge County by 15 points. Taylorville faced somebody. TBD is what I have it marked. I picked Taylorville, and I know Taylorville won, correct?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Taylorville absolutely. What game was that? Doesn't matter. They
versus TBD. That's what I have it as.
Yeah. They dominated.
And then we both went with the 49ers. We were both wrong there. So 1 point we got last week, and it was me predicting that. For fun, Leroy, technically the pick contest is done. But we said we would at least can keep picking our games just because it's kind of fun. Because we don't know anything.
Yeah.
Cougar boys' next game, Leroy, is on Tuesday. They get some. Sorry. The next game I'm broadcasting is on Tuesday. On Friday, they're at Greenwood High School, but I'm not broadcasting that, so I'm not going to have you pick that one. But on Tuesday, they travel to face the 21-5 Davis County Panthers. The Cougs are at 14-11. Leroy, you picking the Cougs to pull off the upset, or are you picking Davis County?
Davis County.
Boo this man.
You just said you're all beat up and hurt.
No, they're going to be healthy on Friday. Be healthy.
I'm going
Brody Armstrong. He's coming back.
You're welcome. I'm picking Davis County. You're welcome.
Yeah, your luck hasn't. And your next game next week will be Grayson County, Edmondson County.
Great.
The third time. What's the game that I get to pick here, Leroy? Oh, I forgot to tell you, too. You had a pick a couple of weeks ago, a game that got canceled.
Yeah.
And it was Grayson County hosting Butler County, which ended up happening on Monday. You went with the Cougs. And, again, you cursed the teams. Butler County won by 5 points. So, sorry.
All right. In the regional finals, the 25-6 Taylorville Tornadoes head to Springfield Southeast to take on the 23-7 Glenwood Chatham Titans.
Go Tornadoes. Are they Tornadoes or they go Lady Tornadoes?
Lady Tornadoes.
Yeah. So I'll take the Lady Tornadoes. Paul's high school is 21-1 and second in the state. That's pretty darn good. I know my high school's girls they've only lost 4 games, and 2 of them is to a team that has won like 60 straight.
We're 49th in the state. We're 49th. So.
Taylorville?
Yeah.
The Lady Cougs.
Glenwood 79.
Got to give Lady Cougars a shout out for Grayson County. They've won 11 straight games. It's tying their longest win streak in program history. 2 years ago, they won 3 games. Last year, they won 11 games, and they've now won 11 straight. They'll look to make it 12 to set a new program record on Friday. It's pretty awesome.
UIS women have had their best record ever.
Speaking of that, you're making me think about who I got for center now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because I literally do not know, and I'm hoping. So I've done like 4 conference games, and I'm hoping that one of these games is going to be with one of those 4. So I have my notes pretty much done. Let's see. Am I looking out for girls? Oh, they haven't updated it yet. Great. What about boys? Men's? Have they updated it? No, of course not. Because why would they do that? You're slacking, guys. Now I got to go to the other website. This is great podcasting, isn't it? Everyone really cares about who I'm having. Oh, look at this. Dang it.
Indian Creek Timberwolves. I got you, Sarah.
Okay. I at least get one. At least the women's game, I've seen that team play before. In fact, I've seen them play twice this year, so I'm lucky there. The men's game, I'm not that lucky, though.
18-11, Sarah. The boys are 18-11, 6-3 in the Little 10 Conference. 18-11, 6-3. Girls are. I got you on that one too.
Wait, graduating class was 48 kids or 1948, Leroy?
No, I think her class size was 48.
Well, I would hope I don't think she graduated in 1948 because that would make her, 95, 96, 4 years old?
So the girls are 0-0.
Haven't lost.
Yay.
Haven't lost.
I had 68 in my class. 68.
250.
My
251, something like that.
My son is 740.
Holy. I'm not sure I realized Taylorville was that big. How many kids are in that school?
Like 3,000, I think.
Holy. That would be far and away the biggest.
I might be wrong on that. Hold on.
The biggest in the state of Kentucky, I think, is like 2,400 kids. Luke, I even think yours is bigger than that. Yours is more like almost towards 400. I don't know, though. Again, great podcasting. What's the enrollment of Taylorville High School in Illinois? Like, just great podcasting, you know?
Oh, it's not bad. Only 2,262. So
that's
bad.
A lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, my city that I went to high school in had 2,100 people in it.
The city I live in right now is like 900.
And like I knew everybody in my school. And I'll go to Bailey. I'll be like, hey, you know this kid? I'm like, I've never seen him in my life. I'm like, I never know if he's like telling the truth or if he's got his head so far in his phone that he's not even paying attention to what's going on around him. Either one's.
Yes.
Either one's.
It's probably both.
Yeah.
I've met your son. It's probably yes.
Both.
Probably
it's
a little bit
both.
Yeah. We'll be back next week. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I assume.
Yeah. Shouldn't have an issue.
I know that there's a chance I might be doing some basketball, but I should be able to be back in time because they've scheduled a game for 5 o'clock local time.
I'll have basketball on Thursday, but nothing on Wednesday.
Well, congratulations. You'll be able to, I might have to double duty, but that's fine. That's what we do for the Lady Cougs. That's what they do, right? 655 now, but when I was in here, it was like 300 people. One of my coworkers is from where you live. That poor soul, Luke. Poor soul. Although I'm intrigued as to who your coworker is. Because you know how small towns are.
For having you here, Sarah. It's been nice having you here.
Yeah. Most of the time.
Would you let it go already? Okay, gosh.
Next week, we'll see.
She doesn't even care.
Well, she clearly cared enough to make that comment. It hurt, Leroy. It hurt. It hurt. See you next week.
I'll see you later, bud. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, and remember, it's still freaking stuck.